Welcome. I am Lucinda Curran, your host for the Environmental Sensitivities Symposium, a world first event. And today I have the pleasure of introducing you to Dr. Sharyn Martin. Hi Sharyn, how are you?
Hi Lucinda, I'm doing okay today, thank you.
That's great. You've been very involved with ASEA. Could you first of all tell us what ASEA is and the work that you do within it, please?
ASEA is the Allergy, Sensitivity Environmental Health Association in Queensland. It was a voluntary organisation formed in 1984 by Dorothy Bowers to bring allergy sufferers together to share information and mutual support. It was a self-help support group for people with allergy, food intolerance, multiple chemical sensitivity, chronic fatigue, etc. until June in 2013 when it closed its doors. The website still exists at www.asehaqld.org.au and is being maintained as a legacy to all of Dorothy's hard work over those 30 years. Like most support groups, ASEA offered a telephone support network, workshop, quarterly newsletter for information for the members to manage their health. I came into ASEA in about 1994.
Tell us a little bit about the work that you've done within ASEA, because you've been very involved.
Yes, well, ASEA was engaged in a lot of system advocacy for necessary changes relevant to the special needs of those with allergy, food and chemical sensitivity. These are areas of unmet needs, and there are many issues of access that need to be addressed in policy and service provisions. So we took part in public consultations in areas of interest, responded to government discussion papers, and produced and presented papers at relevant conferences when appropriate. Overall, ASEA was there to assist members in any way that could be done, and at the moment I'm just keeping this website going, as I said, for a legacy for all this hard work that's gone for the last 30 years.
Sharyn, how is it that you came to be involved in ASEA?
Well, I developed MCS as a scientist about 20 years ago, and after I needed to leave work, I found the ASEA group and started speaking to Dorothy and decided to get on board with her to help her with some of the writing of the scientific papers. So I've been working with Dorothy for the past 20 years until we finally closed down, and now I'm just about trying to find somewhere else that I can pour some efforts into trying to progress this condition.
And the website, as you said, you're keeping it alive and well as a legacy to Dorothy, which is basically a fantastic resource for anyone with multiple chemical sensitivities to go and access all this great information.
Yes, that's right. We've got several sections on the website that deal with multiple chemical sensitivity, some on the disability and medical issues, and we also have some templates for MCF health information, visitors guidelines and housing application letters, plus a lot more on there.
It's an incredible resource that you've all created.
Yes, that's why I'd like to be able to keep this going and continue to add relevant information to the website over the next few years, because ASEA did have some unleft business with some MCS clinical guidelines, so there's certainly some information that needs to go up there.
And having people more involved is going to be beneficial, I would assume?
Well, I definitely think so. The more people involved, less work there is, and the more we can get done as a whole community.
I think having a framework to work within, having ideas of what needs to be done would help people identify how they can help as individuals rather than going, we need to do things, but what?
Yes, it's a matter of finding the levels of input for general individuals, whether it be to register their numbers in a prevalent data collection site, preparing letters themselves to explain their situation to people and to ask for help. Yes, and there are other areas depending on people's qualifications and what they feel capable of doing.
So really there's something that everyone can do to make a difference.
Well, that's right. Just joining support group is a number one issue here.
Why are you so passionate about your work with ASEA?
I really felt that there was a need to make changes, that this situation really was just simmering in the background, and people needed help just with what to do once they found they had chemical sensitivity. So I think it's just a passion to be able to help people and share this information so they can make some quality of life changes.
You've also worked in other areas where you've been helping other people more on a one-to-one level. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Through my time with multiple chemical sensitivity, I went to a Chinese medicine practitioner myself and was so impressed with the work that she did that I actually did study it myself. Though, again, with chemical sensitivity it was difficult. There was a lot by correspondence and private tuition. But I found that it is enormously helpful to people, and it is so rewarding to work with people on a one-to-one basis and just helping them deal with their physical symptoms.
It makes a very big difference, and I think knowing that you're putting so much of the more academic side into ASEA, but also then that real passion for actually helping the individual, I think that all comes together so beautifully in what you do.
I hope that both of these things can draw together, because I think both approaches are needed, because I don't think many people in the community realise just how vulnerable the community is and how much we could still add to the community if measures were taken to make it easier for people to work.
With the work that you did with Dorothy in ASEA, you were able to get some very good insight into what people needed. And I know we're going to be talking about this in the symposium, but if we could touch on it very quickly, what are some of the really key aspects of things that will make a difference for people with chemical sensitivity?
Well, we did a survey to have a look at some of the issues that people were trying to live with MCS, and through all of that we found that, well, there were some small ways you could help yourself to deal with it, and it's really to do with effective communication with the people you're trying to work with or trying to visit in a professional manner. And I think probably finding somebody to help you in the beginning is a good place to start.
And what about for people who, I think we've all got different phrasing for it, but I'm just going to use the phrasing tough it out. It's like when they pretend it's not happening and they're going to be right. Well, have you got some advice for people who are feeling like that at the moment?
Toughing it out doesn't always seem to help. We need to find some compromise between being silent and strong and still allowing people to know the effect that it's having. And I'm not really sure how we do this. We just have to start building up dialogues where people can take notice of what we're saying. Highlighting some of the issues that people are dealing with will indeed help to ameliorate what's going on at the moment.
I think that's beautiful. Really, it's letting people know what you need, and also I think being brave enough to tell people that you do have needs, and in a sense conserving your energy to heal rather than warding off the reactions.
That's right, because we all have the initial angry reaction when something happens, but I think we've all found time and time again that it doesn't really get us anywhere. So it's a matter of devising strategies prior to things happening to make everything go a bit smoother.
The other aspect of exactly what you've just said is the acceptance and then planning ahead.
That's right, and the more people hear about chemical sensitivity, the less explaining that has to happen in the first place, and you can get more to the actual crux of the problem. So it's just developing more awareness and trying to develop the right tact, because nobody likes to be told that you're making me sick with your perfume. We need to find some other way to broach all of these problems.
I agree. There are ways, there's lots and lots of ways, it depends who you're speaking to, but really getting word out there is the key. So even pooling our resources and sharing and working together as a team, which we'll be doing within the symposium, is going to just really help a lot of people.
I think it certainly is, and to know that there are other people out there with the problem, and there are also a lot of people out there trying to make a difference from so many different levels, from the National Toxics Network to the local MCS group and even people like Greenpeace. You've got to remember that there are a lot of groups that are working to decrease the pollution in society, and it may not seem relevant to us at the moment, but all of it can only build, and we can see the changes now even in how things are done. People are advertising perfume-free for babies. We're using different packaging. Things are changing, and we just have to keep that in mind.
I think that's a really great reminder, because I think it brings a lot of relief. I know with my own journey with this, I got frustrated. It's like, why hasn't something been done? But people are working on everything, and there's so many ways we can all get involved and really get together and make a difference.
Oh, I think so, because we've got to remember people are really busy. The people we're trying to deal with in health centres, disability centres, they are pretty flat stick as it is, and we just have to try to keep all of this in mind when we're dealing with people, that they're not necessarily against us. It's just that they've got no idea what we're talking about. The more it comes in, people start to think, maybe there is something wrong with perfumes if we don't want to put them on our children. It just sparks a reaction, and hopefully all of this will just progress it even further.
Fingers crossed there. Everybody, Dr. Sharyn Martin will be a speaker at the Environmental Sensitivities Symposium, and you can find out more at environmentalsensitivities-symposium.com.